What's up, everyone? This is His Majesty Ra Sumabathagbemi, the world's first openly African black gay king. And the king's job is to nourish and protect his people. And I wish today to do so by introducing a concept that was kept secret in the halls of the priests of Kemet. And note I'll be calling it Kemet instead of Kemet to tap into the words Ka and Ma'at, or Kam Ma'at. Kam means soul, or Kam means black. Ma'at means truth, or math equations. So Kamat is the land of the black people's equations of math that bring the truth. Now, in Kamat, there were three types of astrology. If you read with me this paragraph, the Kamau astrologers had three major zodiacs: beginners, intermediate, and advanced. What we do in modern Western and Jyotish or Indian astrology those were considered beginners astrology trainings in the lands of the Nile. This list we'll cover very quickly here is the intermediate studies, and the full Dendera Zodiac and Deacons, which I have a video on, which I'll link below, were the advanced training of astrology. The key thing about this middle or intermediate level is linking the totems, the avatars of each sign, to the Kamau gods of those signs. For example, in ancient Kamat, the ram, which is Aries, the ram belonged to a god called Amun, shown here, Amun, the lord of rams. Ptah owned bulls, shown here, Ptah. The twins were Shu Tefnut, shown here, brother and sister. Khepera here was the scarab beetle. Now, interestingly, few know this, but the Sphinx, or the great lion, is Atum, because the first title for the Sphinx of Giza was Shezep Ankh Atum, the living form of Atum. Virgo was Ast, some call Isis, the earth mother, shown here, holding a shaft of wheat. The scales belong to a particular goddess called Ma'at, shown here, balancing scales. Serket was the scorpion goddess here, it's called Scorpio. Here she is, a woman with a scorpion on her head. Net here was the lady of bows and arrows, or the archer of Sagittarius. Net. Khnum was a goat or a ram god who dealt with water. He was the lord of the first cataract of Egypt. And that's why Capricorn was a goat and a fish. Okay, the goat of Khnum, who also was lord of the Nile, of fish. Aquarius, the water bearer, shown here as Hapi, here. And finally, the fish is shown by a goddess named Hatmehit and a god called Yam, a tyrannical, vicious, greedy, violent ocean god. So for example, let's say you have a planet in Aries. If you follow the beginner's modern allocation of Aries, it's ram-like in the sense of youthful, impetuous, aggressive, headstrong, those simple correlates. But that's a very simpleton's level of the correlates. The next intermediate level version would be Amun, whose name means the hidden one, Amun, the hidden mind, the hidden intelligence. Amun means invisible. Amun means greatly stable. A means great. Moon or men means stabilized. So whereas the beginner astrology say, well, if you're Aries, you are like a ram, headstrong, forceful, confrontational, etc. But the advanced student would say, if you are in the ram, you're like Amun. You are a warrior who is not seen, a warrior who uses his intelligence more than his muscle, a warrior who is extremely calm and never impetuous like the Aries ram. Okay, Taurus is shown as a bull, If you say modern version of Taurus, you are steady, you like material things, you like beauty, you like jewelry, etc. All the Taurian classical correlates. But in the advanced level, we say you are Ptah, called the Apis bull, and that's where the whole idea of a bull market came from. That the Apis bull of Ptah, who was the god of art, artisans, and architects, tells you that the bull means you can only architect a culture or a world or a project when you have money. It implies the power of architecting and backing it financially. That's a more mature expression of the bull as being artistic and fixed and stubborn. Gemini, shown as the twins, Shu Tefnut. Shu means air, Tefnut means water. You combine these, it means breathing techniques wedded to meditation create skills. That's more advanced than saying, oh, you're Gemini, you're talkative, and you are curious, and you like books. That's a kindergarten version. The more advanced version is you're able to do extensive breathing techniques to tap the meditational mind to create genius expressions. Cancer, the scarab is called Kepera, the Lord of Transformation, referring to the intermediate student's understanding that it's through hypnosis, self-hypnosis, that you can change your ways. Versus saying you're mothering or you're nurturing or emotional. That's what children would say in the intermediate astrology conversation. Leo the lion is Atum. Atum means infinite matter that has no form. The matter, the cosmic matter is shapeless like water. And so it's his symbol was the lion, which is the symbol of life force and willpower, saying that to the intermediate student that a leader, Leo, a leader, is able to create from nothing with his will. Because Atum means the formless matter of the original universe, what they call Mula Prakriti in yoga. Virgo is the wheat mother called Ast, Isis. That's our version of Mother Earth, shown here. Libra is Ma'at, meaning here Ma'at, that relationships are really the only place that we can prove that you are truthful, balanced, and have integrity. That's more advanced than saying, oh, Libra, you are emotional with relationships, you love, you like art. That's what kids would say. But the intermediate students would say, well, you can only prove your honesty, integrity, and righteousness in us measuring how you relate, how well you relate to others, and how well you are honest in business. Scorpio, Serket, she's the psychiatry goddess. She's the goddess of the secrets of the subconscious mind, telepathic and occult powers. Sagittarius is the archer Net, a wisdom war goddess who unites astrology charts with divination lots as a weapon against evil. Compared to what they say about Sagittarius now, it's you like to travel, you're open-minded, you're philosophical. We're more precise. It's the mastery of astrology and African oracles as a weapon against evil. Capricorn is a goatfish we discussed, Khnum. He's a god that molds things. He's a potter god. And he uses the clay silt from the Nile to mold or to build your career. The waters represent Cancer, his opposite sign of your early home training. Aquarius is Hapi, the water bearer, shown here. And here we have Khnum here with his water jugs, a goat with water or goat fish energy pattern here. Hapi is telling you that God is androgynous because this is a pregnant man with breasts and a unified state of consciousness. Aquarius is an air sign. These two waves are not water waves, actually. They're waves of air. They're brain waves. They're actual EEG waves, okay, that come through the breathing process. An air element is breath and the brain, intelligence. And finally, Pisces is the fish we call Hatmahit and Yam. Okay, here's the goddess Hatmehit. And the word Hatmehit has implications of suffering. And Yam was a vicious, greedy god of the oceans who demanded tribute, which, if you learn about the great terrorism and the great perversion of the whites against the blacks in slavery, the white countries demanded tribute from Africans, from black people, of bodies, trade, bodies, uh, resources, land. It was vicious. And that in the advanced levels of Pisces, you learn the only way that you can prove that you're enlightened is how you handle tough times. So you can just see by looking at the gods of the advanced astrology levels, you read the charts very differently. And one other level I'll touch upon very quickly, in Rinkam, or ancient language of the Kamau, each letter is like a word, it has a meaning. So A means the force of, M means observation or knowledge, U means Fibonacci spiral, phi ratio, or small place, and N means to create or electromagnetic energy. So A, again, the force, M, which observes, U, the small place, N of EM waves, electromagnetic waves, okay, or sound waves. N can also mean sound waves. So when you do the advanced students, if you have your sun in Amun, in the realm of Amun, don't say I have my sun in Aries, say I have my sun in Amun here, Amun, the ram. That means that your inner warrior, Aries, is that who perceives the small sound waves in a warrior, quiet, unseen, calm manner. You see, we're getting more advanced interpretations of a person's chart. Okay? Pata, the P means place or space. T means matter. A means that which is, and H means DNA or programming. So Pata means the place where matter is that which is programmed. It tells you that with money, you can program the material world. You have the resources, the research, the science, the, the tools to program the material world. So you see, it's a more advanced way of saying if my Venus is in Pata, it means your inner artist, your inner creative force can bend matter and program it through the powers of Venus. It's a whole other level of reading. We'll do one more. We will do Net, Sagittarius. The N means creative forces or sound waves, or EM field, electromagnetic waves. And the T means mass or matter. So Net means sound waves that affect matter. Wisdom is when you're able to use, because Sagittarius is the wisdom sign, wisdom is when you're able to use sound waves to penetrate matter, because a bow and arrow penetrate. So to have, let's say, your Mars in Net means your inner warrior should be able to use sound waves to penetrate forms, matter, energy. Okay? And that's it. That's a bit of an introduction to the intermediate Kamal astrology teachings. I teach more of this in our training of astrologers, astrologer priests, and that we go into more detail in this level of training. But I wanted to introduce the world to this idea of the difference between modern and Indian Jyotish and the teachings of the blacks of the Nile Valley. I wish to thank the gay Kamau ancestors, the gatekeepers, for bringing this information to the world. And remember, No matter what happens to you, always look up. Why? Because you are a star. Dwell in Hotepu.